It all started back in 8th grade, when my parents, my little sister, and I moved to the big city 6 hours from our old home. The community was growing rapidly, so a lot of new houses were going up and a lot of new buildings were being built. We rented an apartment at the beginning of the summer while we waited for our house to finish construction. We asked for an intercom to be included in the design so that we could communicate without having to shout. The local schools were extremely good. Some people moved here just to enroll their kids there. All in all, it was a great community, and we were happy to be part of it now. By the end of the summer, I was all set to go to one of the best middle schools in the state, and so was my sister, who was starting 6th grade. Since we both wanted a career in music, she joined the band and I joined the choir. The first day of school was crazy. Over 1,500 kids rushing past in the halls. Those first day games the teachers always play, and tons of stuff for parents to sign, were all a blur to me. Only one thing stood out, though. I don't know what it was about my choir teacher, but something seemed a bit off. Maybe it was the super reflective glasses she wore that hid her eyes. Maybe it was that she always seemed to be smiling. Maybe it was that if you thought about it, she very well could have been our age. But I dismissed those thoughts. She probably polished her glasses a lot. She was most likely a very happy person, and some teachers were in their 20s. She must have just looked very young. But the one thing that creeped me out was how no matter which way she turned, I could feel those unseen eyes on me. I went home and told my parents about it, but they just laughed and said, "Oh, Celeste, it's first day anxiety, especially since you're a new kid." I laughed nervously. Yeah, probably just that. I had a nightmare that night. I was back in the school, but it was empty. The halls were dark. The whole place was eerie and gave me chills as I walked down the long halls. Then I heard a giggle. At first it was soft, but eventually it grew louder as I broke off into a run. Off-pitched piano notes started playing a song that I had never heard before. All of a sudden, I ran into something and then fell down. I couldn't see what it was until half the moon came out from behind the clouds and shone down through the skylight. It was my choir teacher, holding what looked like a sharp-edged baton and my classmate Adeline's severed head. Adeline had a half-note cut into her forehead. My teacher started cackling loudly. The piano music got louder and faster. The hall became dark, and the walls seemed to be closing in on me as the piano notes became more random. The song from before turned into something that resembled nails on a chalkboard. I woke up screaming and in a cold sweat. 2 months later, it was Halloween, and I had finally finished passing out candy to the younger kids. One of them had actually kind of creeped me out, though. The scariest clown costume that I've ever seen. I sat in my room playing on my phone and listening to music with the lights off. A Taylor Swift song started to play on the radio, but something was weird. It was definitely Taylor's voice, but she was singing a bit out of tune, and the lyrics were different. She sang, "Wondering which nightmare I'd be tortured with in my sleep tonight. Well, I finally snapped, and this song is to let you know why." The music got faster and was mixed with the sounds of insane laughter. I quickly skipped to the next song, visibly shaken. Adele started singing off-pitch, and the song went, "I want to watch you fall, rolling in the blood." I skipped songs again. To my horror, every song on the radio had been replaced with out-of-tune, more grotesque versions. I found myself listening to songs like, "I'm Glad You Died," and "Somebody That Used to Live." I finally turned off the radio so that I wouldn't have to keep listening. I sat in the silent darkness, then turned around to see the moon coming out from behind the clouds. It was a half moon, and then, all of a sudden, I heard it. At first, It was so faint that I thought I was just imagining it. But then it got louder, and I knew it couldn't be. Giggling was coming through the intercom, getting louder. I thought it was just my sister playing pranks, until I heard her cry for help. "Christine!" I yelled. The giggling stopped. My sister's screams stopped. All became quiet. I had never been more terrified in my life. I hugged my knees close to my chest and squeezed my eyes tight, wanting this all to be a bad dream, wanting to just wake up. To this day, I wish I hadn't done that. I felt like I was being watched and snapped my eyes open. What I saw was enough to send shivers down my spine. I was met with a horrid, crooked grin and super reflective glasses, as well as messy, long brown hair. I was met with the sight of my sister's severed head with an eighth note scrawled into her forehead and a terrified expression etched onto her face. I was met with my choir teacher, sharp-ended baton in her right hand and Christine's head in the other. Insane laughter filled the room, as that horrid off-pitch piano music from my nightmare played through the intercom. I tried to scream, tried to do something, but no sound came out, and my body was literally frozen with a new kind of a fear. The laughter had stopped, and the piano music got softer. My teacher dropped Christine's head, and it hit the ground with a thud. She giggled and leaned closer to me, tracing light patterns on my face with the baton. She then spoke. "Your sister had a nice voice, too high-pitched for my liking, though," she sighed. "But you're a natural." Her smile got bigger, if that was even possible. "Your voice is perfect," she exclaimed. She removed her glasses, revealing two blue, glowing orbs instead of eyes. She put the baton on my forehead and murmured, "You'll make such beautiful music." I felt a sharp pain in my forehead as she began to carve something with the baton. I was now able to scream, and did, my voice echoing throughout the house and echoing off the walls. I felt warm. Sticky blood dripped down my face as the baton was removed, and I just sat there, crying. She held the baton to my neck and giggled once again. She was about to slit my throat, but then stopped. Her eyes got wide, and her smile faded. She opened the window and jumped out. I was so confused, but then I heard it. A police siren. I cried again, but whether my tears were of sadness or joy, I couldn't say. The police arrived to find my parents knocked out and my sister's body downstairs. They came to my room and found me sobbing and covered in blood. Christine's head on the floor. At first, I thought I had gone insane, but then I told them what happened, and they surprisingly believed it. But then again, they were the strangest cops I've ever seen. They took me to the hospital, and I saw my face in the mirror for the first time. There, scratched into my forehead so deep it would leave a scar, was the natural sign. I shuddered and remembered what she had said right before then. Your voice is perfect. You'll make such beautiful music." Hi everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this episode today. I appreciate it very much. YouTubing is something that's totally brand new to me. It has and it will certainly continue to be a learning process, but it's my goal to produce videos that you'll enjoy, videos that will scare you hopefully just a little, and videos that you'll be able to learn something from. That said, if you have any suggestions for my improvement, please let me know. I would love to hear them. And also, feel free to email any original stories that you have to theouterlimitofficial@gmail.com. And lastly, if you don't mind, please go ahead and like this video and subscribe to this channel. I would truly, truly appreciate it. Thanks. Catch you next time.